Hello, everyone, and welcome to Game 11 of the Real Racquetball Show. And I want to take this opportunity to wish you all a happy Martin Luther King Day and introduce you to our special guest host for this evening. Connor Shane is the Director of National Events. Connor, welcome.
Hey, how's it going, Mike? It's good to see you again. I feel like I just talked to you today.
Yeah, a couple times. So, all right, let's jump right in. You probably noticed since we have a special guest that Sudsy's not with us for the show. And I want to take this opportunity to thank Sudsy for all of his help. He was an amazing help getting the show started, getting features and discussions and ideas on how to make the show successful. So we really appreciate all the work that he did on the show. He's got a lot of things going on right now and decided it was a great time for him to step away. And we wish him all the best in everything he's doing. You probably saw that the weekend before this last one, he competed in Atlanta, and won as the U.S. team. He and Alex Landa won that doubles championship. There was some amazing matches. Did you get a chance to watch any of that, Connor?
I did, man. I just saw their match, and I got to echo what you say too, because not coming from the racquetball environment, growing up in it, I can't say enough good things about Sudsy. I mean, it's hard to find somebody who's been involved in the sport that long and still somebody who is willing to do anything and everything to benefit the sport. That's just amazing to me.
Yeah. He's been a real asset to the sport and to USA Racquetball. So we appreciate everything he did. Real quick, a little bit about the future of the show with Sudsy. We have some special guest hosts coming up over the next couple episodes. We have some big announcements coming up. And we're going to have some hosts that are going to be able to provide some real professional insight into some of those announcements coming up. I don't want to give too much away about what those are, but one of them is going to be probably our next episode is going to be featured a lot around an upcoming championship. And as Connor is our Director of National Events, so this is kind of his realm and his baby and his expertise. He came to USA Racquetball from USA Fencing and ran events for them. So he has a real strong expertise in developing and growing events. Unfortunately, we've been a little stymied with the pandemic. So
just a bit.
Haven't quite been as busy as you'd like to be doing that specifically anyway. So, Connor, if you want to talk to us real quick, give a little teaser about what our next episode is going to be about the Racquetball Festival.
Right. No. I mean, I'm really excited about this event. I know that. So I took the job with USA Racquetball about a year ago. I think it was February. And I mean, like you said, it couldn't have been a weirder year. I really can't go that enough. I mean, I've dealt with a lot of disaster relief issues in sporting events, but this is the weirdest year I think I've ever experienced in my life. But so, I mean, we saw the national doubles cancellation, right? In Tempe, we can't do that one. And so that was a little bit rough, but the postponement, but the postponement mentioned that we were going to push the event back a little bit. So this summer festival has been tossed around a little bit. And now it just kind of is the perfect puzzle piece into what we now see as our 2021 event season. So what we're really talking about is USA Racquetball Summer Festival. And it's going to happen ideally the first couple weeks of June. It's going to be quite long, so there'll be a chance to, come a little bit early and see some really high quality play if you have junior athletes, or stay a little bit later and spend a couple days in the festival. And this big event thing that we're talking about, we can't disclose the location yet. We're still working on final details, but that's what the next episode is going to be, and that's kind of a little teaser. Right. But it will include national singles, national doubles, and national juniors. And this is kind of our way of, trying to battle a season of events that are being canceled left and right and being plugged into other U.S. Olympic sports and other events that happen in other event venues, outside in fields and inside in convention centers and stuff like that. I mean, I'm looking at our whole community, our industry that I'm involved in event management, really struggling, and we're looking at a lot of sports that we're trying to host these events in late January and early February, and those are getting pushed back again also. So that's really unfortunate for me. And then, to try and push this event and say like, hey, we're going to go forward. And then even more so, it is horrible for our community, right? I mean, these athletes that haven't been on courts in so long, and that makes my heart hurt, man.
Yeah.
And so this festival is something I'm really excited about. I know you're really excited about. We're going to try and jam pack it with music and live events and some extra camps and clinics and stuff like that. I mean, I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, we're hoping that as we finalize all the parts and pieces, we'll have a lot more information coming to you over the next few weeks. The next show, which will be Game 12, is February 1st. We hope to have a lot of things locked down and be able to start talking about some of the activities and how this will all lay out, and you can start making plans to come join the festival. And we'll be able to announce a location and everything in a couple weeks. Right now, we're just not able to do that. So,
no, agreed. And I don't know if you saw that comment there, Mike, from Joanne. Her dad was on the fencing team started in Boston. That's pretty cool, man. The sporting world is such a small world. That's really cool. I'd love to talk about that, Joanne.
Yeah, you guys will have to get together and chat about it. Okay, so tonight's show is mainly going to be about the Real Racquetball Champions. Since we didn't have a show in December, we have some really special guests. We're going to be giving away a couple different awards. If you saw the announcement in the newsletter, you already know who these individuals are, and I'm hoping you're tuning in to hear their story a little bit, because these are some really amazing people. So Stuart's running the back end of our show. Stuart, if you can bring Esha and Arya into the show, we're going to celebrate their achievement.
Hi.
Hey.
Arya, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. And I think you have something you'd like to show everybody that's watching our show.
Yep. Did you get those awards? There we go.
The Real Racquetball Champion Awards. We want to congratulate both of you for your amazing work. Esha and Arya started a GoFundMe page right at or just before our Giving Tuesday campaign. It's a year-end campaign we do each year to raise money for USA Racquetball. And these two amazing young ladies decided that they wanted to help out during a really difficult time and started a GoFundMe page. And I'll be honest, when I read about it and saw it, I was just blown away that you were going to take this on, and really did not have much expectation. I thought maybe you'd be able to raise, $500, maybe $1,000. And do you want to tell everybody how much you raised in your campaign?
We raised almost like triple what the USA Racquetball was looking for.
Yeah, I think you guys raised somewhere near $6,000 in campaign donations, and it's amazing. And most of it came from rallying your friends, your family, your associates, people you know in your area. So it just shows that anybody that wants to put a little bit of time can do amazing things, and you two are great examples of that. So if it's all right, I've got a couple questions. We would just love to hear a little bit about your story, about who you are. So if you would start out by just telling us, I think a lot of people want to know, how old are you? Where do you go to school? What grade are you in? Those type of things. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
So we're both 16 years old. We're in 11th grade, and we go to school in Dublin, California.
Cool.
Yeah, we've been at the school for since middle school now.
Wow, great.
And yeah, we started playing racquetball when we were 11 years old. So we came across it at our club, and our coach, Coach Elaine, she actually introduced us to the sport. And so initially we wanted to play for fun, but after that we started playing almost every day, and we really developed a passion for it.
Yeah.
I got a question for you both too, because this is an outstanding funding initiative, but I'm sure you both are extremely busy. What prompted this? Why?
So a couple years ago, we started fundraising for the Reach Your Dream Foundation to support the youth. So we've always been really passionate about seeing what we can do and what initiatives we can take to help grow the sport, and especially fund the pipeline of new youth players.
Right.
So, with everything, we've also had experience fundraising for organizations like campaigns like Join Jade. It's a cause that's passionate that we're passionate about, and of course, racquetball is one of the things we're most passionate about. So with everything going virtual and during challenging times, we saw so many players struggling and players that can't be on the court, including ourselves. So with the USA Racquetball's initiative Giving Tuesday, our dad was talking to us about it during breakfast, and we were like, oh my God, this is like the perfect chance for us to really help out and see what we can do. So we reached out to our friends, our family, the players from our club and stuff, and we got it. Yeah, we got the fundraiser started.
That's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's amazing.
That really is. That is so impressive. So have you been able to train or do any activity for racquetball during the pandemic? Are you on a court at all?
During the pandemic, like in the summer we did for like, we had to like train for competing for Team USA, and we did after a while. We did have a chance to actually go to the courts, which was nice. But then we shut down all our gyms here recently, so it's closed again. So for the past 1 to 2 months, we haven't had the chance to play on the court, but we were able to like work out at home and like stuff that we could do by ourselves, but not much court activity recently.
And I already know how it turned out, but do you want to tell everybody how the junior team campaign turned out for you? Talk about how that went.
So it was a unique process for all of the juniors because we all, like, a lot of us had to go practice against like a wall or something because we didn't have court access. But for us, it turned out pretty successful. Yeah, we qualified for the team.
That's cool. And I don't know if you saw that comment in there. Brian Dixon said, congratulations. He said, way to rep California. And he said, you're terrific junior players too, which prompts my next question, actually, because Mike mentioned it. And I'm not sure if it's true, but he told me that you guys had a very successful start into racquetball. Is that true? Into championships?
Yeah, so we actually completed our first national, and then 10 months actually we qualified for the team. So
10 months after you started playing.
Amazing. Yeah, amazing.
that speaks to a couple of different things. One, that you're very dedicated and good athletes, but you took seriously and trained hard for it. That's very impressive.
Definitely, you're definitely repping your junior programs pretty well. Brian's entirely correct. Congratulations.
Who are some of your other coaches and mentors? You mentioned a few other individuals the other day that are also on the USA team. So who are some of those individuals?
So Coach Elaine was really the first coach that introduced us to the sport when we first started playing. And then we had the opportunity to train under like great coaches and players like Bobby Horn and Pablo. And yeah.
Fantastic. That's really cool. Now, I know you guys do some fundraising and some charity work with some other activities outside of racquetball. Can you want to take a few minutes and tell us what? I understand you started your own nonprofit, and what's that do?
So we started this nonprofit. It was inspired by racquetball. Mm-hmm. So when we went to Worlds a few years ago, we noticed how the players were divided amongst like from different countries because of language barriers, and it kind of stopped like really precious connections that could have been formed. And we really wanted to take a step to kind of do something about it. So this past summer, we started the organization with a district in Chile, in Santiago, Chile, Estación Central, that's a specific district. And we, our program is centered around social issues and the United Nations Sustainable Goals. And we centered around like learning about different cultures, different languages, but also more like awareness about large social issues.
Wow.
That's unbelievable. Why'd you pick Chile?
Oh, Chile, we had, we met a lot of players from there when we went to Worlds. So, and we also had connections with Pablo, and he was really motivated by this cause too. So he allowed us to reach out, and we're running the program right now with a few more other countries, and it's currently in progress. So
it's unbelievable. Where do you? I mean, I guess just regarding that, where do you see your success measure in a couple of years? I mean, where are you trying to go with this?
We like for for the program itself, we definitely want to continue in college. And for racquetball, we also want to continue in college and later on. So
I feel like for the program specifically, we want to create like a community so that we can have like other people also help people in different countries through like the same process that we did.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Those are fantastic goals. I love that.
Yeah, very, very impressive. So we want to thank you. Is there anything you'd like to say to the racquetball community? Something that might inspire them, that would teach them, because we know that there are a lot of athletes that aren't getting a chance to play racquetball right now. So what's the one piece of advice you would give them that would help them get ready for when the courts open up, or when other juniors are standing around watching this amazing game being played? How do we get them on a court? What's your advice within the club?
I think for now, it's just to find any way, or it's to first recognize that we can make small changes, and it starts within our community in order to grow the sport. So even if courts don't open, I think starting fundraising events or spreading more awareness to kids in school will really allow us to help build the sport that we are.
Okay, well that's fantastic. I think that's a terrific piece of advice for them.
I agree, man. I gotta step up my game. You guys are showing me up. This is great.
Well,
I want to say thank you so much for the award as well.
You're very welcome. And I think when we do get a chance to get back together and competing, which may be in June at this new festival we're putting together, Connor's putting together, I'm hoping you guys can come and compete at it, and maybe you can we'll let you guys teach Connor how to play racquetball.
Yeah. Don't get your hopes up. But I mean, I guess if you guys manage to win championships and make the US team that quickly, you two are now my coaches.
I think you got a knack to it. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And we really appreciate your taking time to come on and share your story with everybody in racquetball. So thank you very much. Good night.
Wow, man. I can't say enough good things about them either. What in the world? It's fantastic.
I don't know. So, okay. So our next award winner, and I'm not sure that she is in the waiting room to come in. I don't think so. I don't believe she's in the waiting room. So
no.
We will, maybe she is. I see. Stuart, can you let us know if we have Sandy in the waiting room?
I think we are prepped with a slide, it looks like.
All right. Okay. Well, the next real racquetball champion is Sandy Long. She is from Fort Worth, Texas, and apparently Sandy's not able to join us this evening. But I want to tell you a little bit about what Sandy has done. And Sandy runs junior programs in Texas, and she's been a member of USA Racquetball since 2006. She runs one of the what we have learned to be one of the most successful junior programs in the country that I had never heard of. I know there are some phenomenal junior programs run in California and St. Louis and Oregon and some others around the country that, but Sandy's been running this one for a long time. They run a tournament in Texas that's they call it scholarship tournament, and she received all the funding from that at one point, and uses all of that funding, and all the money that she raises in all of her activities goes 100% to the juniors in either travel expenses so that they can travel around the country and play in junior championships and junior tournaments. She buys equipment for them. And one of the tournaments that the scholarship tournament is run by Kevin Sindri. And Kevin, I hope I didn't mispronounce your name too bad. But Kevin had a comment that he sent in about Sandy that I want to read for you. Sandy volunteers all of her time with the juniors here in North Texas and provides gear and to all of the interested juniors. She is a fantastic human and the best promoter of junior racquetball I have ever come across. Welcome to our show, Sandy.
Hello.
So glad you were able to join. Did you hear my quote that I read from Kevin?
No, I didn't. It was still coming up at the time.
Was it? Okay, well, let me read this to you because this is really impressive. It was one of the things that really stuck in my mind. So I wrote it out and want to read it exactly the way he wrote it for me. Kevin said, Sandy volunteers all of her time with the juniors here in North Texas and provides gear to interested juniors. She is a fantastic human and the best promoter of junior racquetball I have ever come across.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't forget your comment from Lance Hale in there. Sandy Long is a legend of Texas juniors and travels all over. You got a lot of fans out there, Sandy.
It's nice. Yeah, I have a lot of supporters. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on winning the Real Racquetball Champion Award. We really appreciate everything you do. And when your name was brought to us with some of the information I just read, the group that gets together makes this decision. It was a slam dunk. It was easy.
Thank you.
So, and I don't know if you know Connor, our special.
No, I've never met Connor. Hi, Connor.
Hey, well, it's good to virtually meet you.
Yeah.
Well, tell of the quote that Kevin said. What's your first thought about that? I mean, he made some really great statements about you. What's your thought about it?
I mean, other than he's right.
I love that.
I mean,
what got you to start your junior program? Tell us a little bit about how you started your program.
You know what? I mean, I would go to a lot of tournaments. I started helping some of the kids, because I was a player myself. And then I just got interested in helping more and more. And it just sort of developed from there to where I started a program 2011. I just saw more kids that wanted to play, more kids that wanted help. Yeah. So I started a formal program.
That's amazing. So, and what is it you provide to the new up and coming junior athletes? Was it with backpacks, eye guards, and stuff like that?
It is, assuming that they want them or they don't already have good equipment, right? It's Gearbox happens to be my sponsor, and I get the equipment. I buy the equipment from them, and a kid that's interested in playing gets a backpack, an M40 racket, a pair of eye guards, a glove if they want. They don't necessarily need them, little kids, right?
Right.
And then I carry A6 shoes, and they can have a pair of shoes if they want. And again, if they want them, they don't have to.
Sure. It's for a kid, that's got to be just amazing to get that kind of equipment set up and then be able to get on a court and learn a new sport that we all know is a lifetime sport. So once you've got them on the court a little bit, it's got to be very gratifying to watch them learn the game, grow the game, and then take them to competitions.
It's a blast when you've seen some of the kids that you've had, start when they're 10, 12 years old, and now they're playing pro matches.
Right.
Just to see the progression of the ones that stick with it, hang with it, have a good time with it.
Yeah.
Practice is always about having fun, making sure they have fun.
Yeah. So, and Sandy, this one's more for me because I'm a big data guy. But how many athletes do you think you've impacted to some extent?
I tried to count it. Last year alone, I helped sponsor 49 people, 49 kids, whether it's collegiate or juniors. I started collegiate right before the pandemic, right? Just a few months before, trying to help them organize, right? You have all these little clubs. How do we get them into, instead of just playing the SCRC, get them to playing tournaments, help sponsor those teams to play in an event, and then they start networking with the other adults, right? Now they start getting to know some of those people like the San Antonio crew, Cantu, Bustos, those guys, and they make those connections, and those guys help them grow as players.
Yeah.
That's the idea. I just didn't get very far with it yet.
Well, and that's part of the, I know you were instrumental in the Southern Conference in the collegiate racquetball.
Southern Collegiate Racquetball Conference. Yeah, they started that up again, and it's a blast. The kids have a great time.
So you help, what's the age range of the I say students, but the kids that you're introducing to the game, are they younger kids or college students?
Well, most of the kids that I have right now are between 5 and 18.
Okay. So it's a pretty good wide range of ages. You're not sticking with just little kids or adults. You're anybody that wants to play, you're
Oh yeah,
impacting them.
anybody that wants to play.
Wow.
I spent last year. I know that it was something that we talked about before, but last year I spent about $27,000.
Wow.
That's a huge.
Just on those things, whether it's USAR memberships for the kids that I have that are really trying and they were having fun and they're competing, I will pay their USAR membership and their entry if their parents want me to.
Sure.
Right? Not all parents want you to do that, and there's no pressure ever. But you combine all of those things, the equipment, just things that they need. If they, one of my students wanted to train, he's high level, wanted to train with a higher level coach, one of the national guys, and he needed a couple $100. Okay, fine. Okay. He's putting in the effort, and I will support that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah, I agree. And Sandy, we got a comment in there too. Another shout out. You have so many fans. Coach Sandy is great. Melissa and Julia are watching and say hi.
Yeah, I love those girls. They will get in there with their dad and they will play and just have a great time.
That's amazing. Man, it seems like you're just impacting people left and right. So I did hear a metric though. I mean, what does it take to get athletes to junior nationals? And I mean, what do you do for fundraising for that?
Well, I did at one point. I did pay for hotel for the team and the parents because you really want to have the parents there. So I paid hotel, paid entry fees for the kids, team shirts, and I maxed out about $17,000. But what I found was parents couldn't take the week off.
Right. So
how do I get more kids? How do I increase get more kids excited, more collegiate excited, right? So I redirected from a national level to a state level.
Okay.
Impact more kids that way, get them playing tournaments, and then if they want to go to junior nationals and they need assistance, then I'll work on that.
Yeah. There's still a lot of good tournaments in Texas, so I would assume you have the ability to travel.
Yes.
Austin. So where are your favorite tournaments at in Texas? Where do you take your students?
Well, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Well, yeah.
But the Longhorn Open is probably the tournament that Texas players in particular get the most excited about solely. And just a little shout out to my stepson, Jack. He does help. Yes. So that's probably the hands down the number one tournament, best tournament. The kids get to play more kids there, and the parents are all excited. And then, of course, our fundraising there is just huge.
I would imagine you have a lot of great fundraising there.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I bet.
I've got really one more question, then we're going to let you go. If someone's looking to start a program like yours, because I truly believe, and have said it 1,000 times over the last 2 years, that racquetball will grow because of people like you, ones that will help get involved and help get juniors and young people involved. And it has to happen at the club. So what you're doing is just so impressive for me, because it's impacting racquetball in your community. Those individuals, those juniors will go out to college and they'll travel around the country and they'll still play racquetball and impact more racquetball players. So your reach will go all over. But if someone's looking to start a program like what you're doing, what would be your first, what advice would you give them to help them get started? Would you be okay if they reached out to you sometime? And
absolutely. People have reached out to me before, some suggestions. Obviously, it has to be tailored to what their community will allow, their clubs will allow. But the number one thing, other than just being there for them every week, right? If you're going to set a date and a time, right? Like we did every Sunday, 2 to 6 o'clock.
Right.
Whoever showed up, I was there no matter what, whether there was one kid or 21 kids. It didn't matter. I could just give more individual attention. And when you got 21, you enlist parents, but you just be there, pick a time, make it something regular, and then reach out to parents and see, is their kid interested in playing? Do they want to try it out? I've got a spare pair of eye guards they could borrow, rackets that they can borrow. And you know what? If I see a parent taking a child on a court and the kid's having fun, I'll go ahead and approach them and, start talking to them if they're interested and try to see if they're interested and give them my card and just try to, generate some excitement, let them know there are other kids who are playing.
Right.
That's huge. Trying to get the kids together, having tournament directors open to kids playing.
And connect those kids so they have other kids to play with and get their friends involved. And once a lot of the programs we talk about, once a kid starts playing and he's having a good time, he's going to talk to his friends, and his friends are going to want to join him and have a good time. So
yeah, absolutely. I've seen that over and over and over again.
Yeah. Well, Sandy, congratulations on your award. It truly are a racquetball champion, and we appreciate everything you're doing. And with all the comments and the great things being said, you're appreciated by a whole lot of people, it appears.
Extremely well earned, apparently.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Sandy. Have a great evening, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Sandy. Congratulations. Wow, man, that's another one too. I mean, it's amazing to see that she said that a big part of the junior program too is just structure for those kids, being there regardless.
And set a time that their family can plan on it. So they schedule their calendar around it, and each week at this, whatever the time is, that's when they go and they play. It's amazing.
It takes a lot for somebody to mobilize that hard on the grassroots level.
It is, but that's what it's going to take. I mean, if we're going to grow, it's going to come from individuals like Sandy that's going to devote a little bit of time to teaching some kids how to play. And I can't thank her enough.
Yeah. Well, again, congratulations to both of those girls, and then again to Sandy, Esha and Sandy. All three deserve that award very well. I mean,
and we really appreciate they're taking the time to come on the show. But it's our time to kind of wrap it up. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in. We really appreciate your taking the time. Hopefully the individuals that we brought on that are our racquetball champions, you've been able to learn a little bit about what they're doing and how maybe we can implement some of that in your area. So if you've got questions, reach out to myself or Connor, and we'll help put you in touch with Sandy or Esha, Arya. They're just amazing individuals. So next upcoming shows are February 1st is game number 12. February 15th is game number 13. So please put those on your calendar and tune in. We have some really big announcements coming up. The festival we talked a little bit about. We have some other things that I'm just absolutely chomping at the bit to talk about. And we're going to have multiple shows about some of the big things that were happening in racquetball over the next month or two.
Yeah.
So, Connor, thank you for joining.
Yeah, of course.
Helping with the show. Appreciate that a lot.
It's a pleasure.
We will see all of you soon. Thank you very much.